Hey, what's up, everybody? Jesse here, and I first want to say late Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and also a little bit early Happy New Year. So it's been a good holiday, at least for us, and I hope all of you had a good one as well. Now, with that being said, I just wanted to do a quick vlog of what's going on here lately in my life. I haven't been doing any fishing videos or really any fishing lately. Just been busy with the holidays and work and projects still. Main project I'm still working on, you saw in one of my last videos, is the van back here behind me. Still working on my old Dirty Max. Currently I have the front fenders off of it, and the grill and the bumper and the hood, because I'm actually stripping the fenders. I actually have one over there that's already stripped, and I've got the hood stripped, and I still have the other fender to do on the other side over here. Prepping them for paint pretty much. Because unfortunately with these vans, everything that I've read and what painters have told me, you have to actually take it all the way down to bare metal for the new paint system to adhere correctly, and for there to be no future peeling issues, which these vans suffer from greatly. So I was in the process of that, and I ran out of some materials, so I took a break and started working on the chassis. Since I had all of that off, it was a perfect opportunity to go ahead and wire brush this chassis up here in the front. You know, I did all underneath as well, all up in the fender wells in here, since all of this was accessible at the time, and went ahead and treated it with a rust treatment, you know, OSPO, and, you know, got some new paint on there to help protect the chassis and to prevent, you know, any future corrosion pretty much. Which, I mean, once rust starts, you never really completely stop it, but you can slow it down dramatically. So that's pretty much the purpose of all that. So I've got that done, and I'm happy with that, because that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm not worried about this area here, because this spring I'm going to do coil spacers in the front of the vehicle, which is actually going to level the vehicle, you know, because these vans, they sit kind of low in the front. And at the same time, I need to do ball joints, and I'll probably get the rotors turned and painted and fix the calipers, just redo basically the A-arms and everything on each side at that point. So I'm not worried about painting any of that right now. So that's why it's still kind of rusty looking. But pretty much how this right here looked, how rusty that is exactly how the rest of the chassis looked, which it's all coated in frame paint now. It's looking good. So that's pretty much what I've been working on for the last, you know, 2 weeks or so in my downtime from work and family stuff. The inside of the van is pretty much done at this point as far as what I'm going to do. I do still want to do the camper conversion, but that's probably going to wait till spring. I'm more focused on getting the van stripped and painted at this point. That's what I want to get done. Like I said, you can see I have this fender here is already stripped. I have the hood done. I still got pretty much the rest of this vehicle to do, which is a lot of work, and I was really worried about it, but thankfully I found a way of doing it pretty quickly. So when I started removing the paint from the hood, is what I started with first. I realized very quickly it was a grueling process. I tried sanding it, I tried flapper discs. Flapper discs were way too aggressive, even in a finer grit. Working a DA sander on it, it got it done, but it was horrendously slow, and honestly it was more CFM requirements than what my compressor can put out. You know, I have a Lowe's compressor, one of their bigger ones. It puts out about 14 CFM, but it wasn't enough to keep up with running a DA constantly. So it was a grueling, slow process of letting the compressor catch up, you know, and just sanding it. And it literally spent about 4.5 hours trying to sand the hood down to get it all the way down the middle, you know, using like 80 grit. I actually finally went down to a 40 grit on the DA, which was really aggressive, but it got it off, thankfully, and I got that done. And I was like, this ain't gonna work. It's just doing this whole van in that manner, it will take 6 months. I realized very quickly it just isn't going to work. So I did a bunch of research online, a bunch of YouTube videos, and I found a product here that I tried. And I actually knew of this product before. Let me show you why. It's a 3M bristle disc, pretty much is what it is. I've had them for years. You can see I got a bunch of them down in there, but this is the little 2-inch version. I think it's the 2-inch version. Yeah, this would go on an angle die grinder, and I used it, you know, in my years of being a mechanic for removing gasket material from engines. When you take them down, you got to clean the gasket material. This is excellent for it, and it doesn't damage the metal at all. I already knew about them, but I didn't know they made them larger. And on a couple of videos online, they recommended them. So I ordered one, and I have it here actually on a, you know, 4.5-inch angle grinder. It's electric. And this thing right here is the bomb for stripping paint. Honestly, I put it on the angle grinder and I did this fender here with it that's sitting right here, and it took me about 10 minutes. And I had that entire fender stripped. Unbelievable, unbelievably fast. I mean, it's light years ahead of doing sandpaper. So yeah, it worked really good and it didn't damage the metal at all. I'm pretty much ready to wipe that panel down and throw some epoxy primer on it, which is basically what I'm gonna do with the vehicle, is do it panel by panel and epoxy them as I go so it protects them from rust. And I'm just going to do it white, and then as I get the entire van done, you know, because I'm not going to do it all at once. I'll probably do like this whole side maybe one day, clean it and go ahead and spray it and epoxy it. That way it's sealed, and the top and all, and do it in that manner. And once I get the entire vehicle done like that, then later this spring I can save up, buy the paint, which I'm going to do base and clear on it. That's what I'm going to do, and go ahead and scuff the whole thing down and clean it and put it in a proper spray booth and go ahead and spray the entire vehicle. So that's probably the best way to handle painting this thing, I believe. Now all my repairs are done. I've got all the patch panels in. I got them skim coated with Bondo. I just need a final sanding on them. They look good. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's getting there. My old Dirty Max is coming along good. Now some of y'all might ask, well, why didn't you just use paint stripper? And I thought about that, but honestly, since about 2 years ago, they outlawed methylene chloride, which was the main ingredient in all paint strippers on the market, because it's very toxic. And evidently there were some people out there that didn't follow the safety instructions and died from it. So unfortunately, with the system being the way it is nowadays, of course, that outlawed it for everybody now. So all paint strippers at this point can't use methylene chloride anymore, and they suck. I'll be honest with you, even the aircraft strippers, everything, they don't work. That definitely wasn't an option. Okay, enough about the van. Just talk about this year coming up. You know, 2022 is right around the corner. I have some changes this year that are coming. Now, I've talked about doing the guiding thing for about 2 years now, and honestly, I've been dragging my feet on it. Still trying to get experience out on the water, especially in my boat. I'm pretty much done with the captain's license at this point as far as getting it. It's just a matter of paperwork now. So I'm going to work on that over the next month or two, you know, in the cold season. Get everything lined up. Come spring, I'm going to start doing charters. I'm just going to go for it this year, mainly because there's been a change in my work. Some of y'all may know that I have been contracting from Lowe's for about 12 years now, and it was a pretty good gig. In the early days, I was very proud to be affiliated with them. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of corporate changes over the last few years. I don't like the way that they're running their programs anymore and the changes that are made. It's kind of sucks that it's gone that route, but you know, in a way, it's kind of good because it's motivating me to finally take a leap and do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is the guiding and the fishing thing. Take fishing much more of a business as just opposed to being purely pleasure, and go with it. It was always easy working for them, and it was, well, I mean, it wasn't easy. There's plenty of headaches, but as of the first of this year, I'm not going to be contracting for them anymore. So I'm still doing work on my own. I have work coming in, you know, enough to keep me going just fine, but I want to kind of phase that out and start getting into doing the fishing thing, hopefully for a living, if it works out well. Now I will be chartering in my boat, taking people out in that. It's going to be mostly inshore fishing, near shore. On select days when it's really nice, I may go offshore, but with the boat that I have, it's not ideal for it. So I just have to be very careful with going offshore. My bulldog's in here playing. Him over there. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm going to be getting out in the boat a lot this year, actually chartering. As soon as summertime hits, I'm going to be doing sheephead charters out at the Chesapeake Bay, flounder fishing, stuff like that. So I'm excited to finally try it, see how it goes. The one thing that makes me nervous about fishing is that it's not guaranteed, and I joke about that with people that, you know, I still have to charge either way if I take folks out, and sometimes the fish just don't bite, and that's the big thing that makes me nervous about it is, you know, when I put a door in for a customer, I'm charging them however much money, and when I'm done, they always have a nice new door. Taking people fishing is no guarantee, and there are going to be times when the fish just aren't going to cooperate, so that makes me a little bit nervous. And actually, I would love some feedback from any of y'all that are out there that are maybe guides. Shoot me a message, because I would love to talk about it as far as you know, careful about knocking the bumper over, didn't you? But anyway, I'm curious what you guys might have as far as input on that. Some of you that are guides, or if y'all want to talk about it, I would be glad to hop on the phone and have a conversation about how you do things and how you make up for times like that when you take folks out and it doesn't cooperate. So I'm curious. Just hit me up or message me or leave a comment, whatever. Big changes this year coming up. I'm excited about it. A little nervous still, but it's something I've wanted to do. It's time to make it happen. And with my work changing, it's the perfect time to do it. So I'm getting ready to throw the wheels back on the front of this van because I have to start it up and pull it out because I got to get my kayak out that's sitting back here. You see it sitting there. Because I am actually going fishing tomorrow for the first time in quite a while. So I'm excited about it. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. I'll be fishing the last day of the year, which is a good way to end the year. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for following me this year. And next year, hopefully, I'll be doing more fishing and hopefully more videos and taking people fishing, which is something I've always dreamed of, and getting paid for it, hopefully. So peace out. See y'all in the next video.